Hey everyone, and welcome back to another week of Shiggles. I am that guy Rickster.
Hello, Darian here, guys.
And first, let's say welcome back. We didn't do an episode last week. Things happened. It was a long week here. So
And
we're
happy
back.
Thanksgiving too.
Oh
For those who
yeah.
celebrate.
That was a journey.
It was a week, but it was alright, I guess.
Yeah, it was an okay week. Well, as I said earlier to you before we started recording this, it was just a lot happened from the weekend, then going into Thanksgiving. It was the back and forth because I had to drive a lot of back and forth, like 3 hours, so 6 hours in total back and forth, and of course traffic. So it was probably longer. It was just a lot to do in one day, but I survived and I'm here, and we're here again doing this show. So
You
yeah.
said it like, oh, we're here again doing this show like it's a
No, like
bother.
no, it's like
No,
a
that's a
bother. Like
tone.
we're doing the
I mean,
show.
but
Yes,
yeah,
we like doing this. See now that laugh will give people the impression that you don't like doing this.
ain't nobody said that. But
Mm,
anyways, guys, so this
okay,
week,
we're jumping
qu-
right into it.
right into it, kind of like we have multiple things to talk about. First things first. I'm the realist, Iggy Azalea. But first things first. First things first. Poppers,
Okay,
the classic staple of a lovely hookup night with a big 10-inch. Because I don't
is
know.
it the classic staple though?
I mean, it's heavily used. I mean, it's used in other ways too, which when you go out and you be around different people and then you learn, the different uses for things,
Yeah.
but something that's widely used in the gay community. Um, I have a lot to say about it,
So
but
wait,
what
what's
say
another
you?
use for poppers than during
We'll
sex to
we'll we'll
relax?
we'll get through that, but
All right,
we'll
so
get to
let me
that.
start here first.
What say
Have you
you?
ever used it?
I have.
Okay. How was that for you? Because I have as well once, but we'll get into
Okay,
that.
so this is my thing, and none of y'all can say I'm a whore or whatever. It's just that I have a very good grasp of my own body, and I'm also very intelligent. I know a lot about human anatomy and just basically how to make sex work the correct way, as long as it's
Oh.
going well with the other person too. But the thing is that if you know how to bottom, you should buy. If you're doing this for years, I think, I mean, it's an art, but not necessarily like you have to kind of like learn ways to relax your hole, as Beyonce said in Break My Soul or whatever. But like,
She said, break my soul, not my hole.
Miss
But
Frida, Big
okay.
Frida, like whatever, release your mind, relax it, whatever. But but
Jesus.
anyways, so I always tell people that it's I don't even know how to describe it, but people like they tense their muscles up, and it's just like, and I always tell people like,
Just
imagine you
can't
you
relax.
you can't relax, and someone is trying to push something in something, but you're closing the door at the same time. It's going to hurt. So people use poppers, and I guess some people like depend on it so heavily that they've never
That's the
actually
only way they can
tried.
have
They can
sex.
because they've never actually tried to actually make the process better for themselves. Because if
Hmm.
you relax, something I learned recently too, if you take a deep breath during the process, so something happens down there. So it relaxes yourself and it pushes your thing out. So while the person is pushing in, it goes in easily. But back to the poppers conversation, I've used it and it doesn't really do anything for me. Why? Because I'm able to relax myself so that, when I'm bottoming, like things can happen the way that they're supposed to happen. And well, then again, I'm also versatile, but I don't like using it. Why? It deadhood. It kills the excitement for me. My
Yeah.
dick immediately goes limp, and I've heard other people say that that happens to them too. And some people are like, "No, it gives me excitement and it makes me rock hard." And I'm like, "Well, that doesn't happen for me. So if I ever do, no, I don't
Okay.
like it."
I get that. So my one time doing it again didn't do anything for me either. So it was the reverse though. I was topping the person. And I think this was like I didn't really know what poppers were at the time because I'm somewhat late to the game with these things sometimes because I'm not like that into stuff. But so we were going at it, I'm topping them or whatever, and they like pulled out this small bottle thing and they inhaled it. And I'm like, the fuck is that? But he used the word rush. He didn't say poppers. So then he's like, so he sniffed it and he's like, oh, you can try it to make everything like more intense and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'm in the middle of pile driving here, but okay, I guess. So I did, and I honestly didn't feel any different. It just, but became this totally different person after he did it. I'm like, oh, I guess you're having fun.
S-
But yeah,
So I've had one experience with one particular person actually this year, further up in the year, and I did feel that excitement and that rush that that person is talking about. But also, I think that I was highly attracted to that person too. So
yeah.
it's like my actual own feelings and emotions were already there, and then like it elevates you because it gives you a high. But I
See, but
really
that's the thing though. I think if you're genuinely attracted to the person, like you can get to that high.
but that's what I was getting at though, because I think people, and I'm gonna throw a lot of stones. The people who like it heavily, it's not just for relaxing. There are also people who are heavily into narcotics, and you can say whatever you want to say, but it does give you a feeling like you're high temporarily for like 5, 10, 30 seconds thereabout. And this community is very, not just like, they just, people just love drugs. And I think that's it for a lot of them,
And
because
maybe that's my problem. I don't love drugs. So
exactly. I don't either. I mean, I have gotten high before. Let me not even throw no stones. I have gotten high on multiple occasions. It's something that I like, but um, I don't know. Poppers is just poppers. We just have a
again,
weird
I've only been high once, and we should do a
on
topic
being
one week
high,
of being high, and I will
or
tell you about my experience because
probably next week,
it was interesting.
probably next week. Probably next week.
Yes.
But back to what I was saying earlier, I just feel as if like at some point you have to learn to actually have sex naturally. Because
Yeah.
contrary to popular belief, I do not like topping people who have to rely on poppers. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, when I'm topping you, my dick is very sensitive and I can feel everything from the outside, the sphincter,
Mm-hmm.
to inside. Now, something I've noticed is that when people are on poppers,
Drugs.
it opens everything up. So then it feels like my dick is forced through a bottle and then it's inside the bottle and I'm not feeling anything
Yeah.
because everything is just opened up and so loose, and I don't like loose booty holes. I'm sorry.
But
You have to have the grip, like Miss Grippy, something, or else I'm not going to really enjoy it.
but do you think that it has become so ingrained in gay culture? I don't know what the straights are up to because I don't pay attention to them. But do you think it's become so ingrained into gay culture because porn has become so accessible and like a lot of people know that porn stars are using poppers to be able to perform the way they do, like especially the bottoms, the power bottoms, or taking like the horse sticks and like fisting and stuff like that, so it really relaxes them. So I'm wondering if that's a reason why it's become so intertwined into gay
That
culture.
too. That too. But I think it again, like if the person that's stopping you knows how to like be gentle, and this is one of the reasons why I always say people who verse, like truly verse,
They know
they
what they're
they
doing.
know what they're doing because they know what it feels like,
Yeah.
right? And I always say like if the person who is stopping the other one, if they are patient enough and they know what they're doing, and also the bottom also knows what they're doing, so the bottom is relaxing, the top is taking their time easing themselves in and all of that, give yourself like a minute or two, you guys would be able to get into it. Because if you're
Yeah.
relaxing and all of that, you don't necessarily need it. And I don't know why it's so. Some people love it so much, and I'm like,
Yeah, well, I've seen, but we've seen the videos with this some of these guys who are just like jackhammers. I'm like, why would anybody subject themselves to that? It's fun
oh.
to watch, but I'm like, the fuck away from me. I would never do that shit.
And what I wanted to say too, poppers also gives you this numbing sort of feeling based on when I've had it. Right? There's this numbing sort of feeling
How many
where
times have you had it?
not a lot, but more than once. Bitch, you
Okay.
judging?
I'm not
So
judging you, I'm
it
just asking.
it
Jesus.
gives you a numbing sort of feeling. No,
Okay.
because I know, and I've done like sexual health classes and stuff like that with anal sex and shit like that. I tell people you're supposed to be feeling everything all the time, and not like in a way where it's hurting, but you should be feeling what is going on. This is how you
Because
know
that's
if the
how you
person
know when something goes
is
wrong.
wrong. Yes, so if it starts burning and more, and if you're having
Yeah.
sex and it's burning, like burning, there's a burning sensation. I used to think that, oh, maybe it's a type of the lube or something like that. No, you have fissures inside, like little rips and
Mm-hmm.
things like that, and then
Hemorrhoids or stuff like that
right, and then the lube or whatever chemical it is that you're using gets into that, and
makes it
then that's when
burn.
it's burning, because you're outside of your rectal cavity and shit like that has lining that protects it. That's the reason why when you pass in stool and shit like that, it's not going to like burn the hell out of you, because it's,
Yeah.
so that's why I tell people you're supposed to be able to feel it, and being always like heavily reliant
But
on
that's the
poppers, you're
thing.
not going to feel it and you're not going to really know.
You can't tell some of the girlies that they just want to just have the fun. They don't care.
But this is it too. So circa a couple months ago, someone invited me out to the club, and if you're there listening to this, well, whatever. And I noticed, and this is why my comment earlier, that
Mm-hmm.
people who do poppers, there are people who like to do drugs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I saw people doing poppers in the club,
Oh yes,
and I
I did hear
remember,
about that. That's
and I
like a
remember,
thing now.
yes, and I'm
Yeah.
like, it's because it gives people a high, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I said earlier that people don't just primarily be doing it now during sex because of the relaxation thing. They do it because they want to be having sex and be high at the same time.
Yeah. So it's
'Cause-
literally like a drug now.
And I'm like, people are using this
Like
thing
any
like a
other drug
drug,
out
like any
there.
other drug, and they be
Yeah.
sniffing it, and I'm just like, that can be healthy for you, especially if you're a person that who
But
heavily
didn't
goes
some study
out.
come
And
out about that shit like causing like brain damage and stuff like that
I
if you
saw
use
it.
it
I
too
didn't really
often?
do like any research on it, so I'm not really sure. But I did see that. I did
Because if
see
that's the
that.
case, like you are literally putting your health in danger just to feel high for a few minutes during
And so,
sex or
and bear in mind that some
to
people are having
become
sex like a lot.
yes, like some people have sex every single day and you know they're using it every single day. So not you flexing on camera. Calm down.
I'm not flexing.
You
I'm
just flexed.
stressed. This is not flexing. I'm
Sure. Mm,
relaxing my muscles
mm,
because I work shoulders today.
okay.
Don't hate
Okay.
potato bitch. But anyways,
Sure.
but
Hmm.
anyways, it is not for me though. However, if I'm having sex with someone and they want to use it, it's up to their discretion because I'm not really partaking. But like, it's just not for me. And like as I
Yeah, I've
said, like
said
for
this all
me,
the time.
it dead my
If
dick,
it
and I don't have
if
time
it
for that.
works for you, it works. But if some things are just not for me, if you want to do it, I'm not going to yuck your yum. Have fun.
Do
Yeah,
you, sis?
exactly. So we want to move on to the next topic, or I have more to say about the
No, man, I have
poppers.
nothing more to say. I don't have anything more to say. What the
Okay.
hell? And with that said, right? So,
Yes. So we're going to talk about the. I don't. We're like a week behind because I said we didn't do it as episode last week. But if a lot of people, if you're into social media and stuff, you would have seen where the singer. He's a singer, right?
mhm.
Singer is it Khaled
Khalid
or
or
Khalid?
Khalid. I
Well,
guess
he was
pronunciation
outed
varies.
basically by some guy he was dating and stuff like that. And I'm still seeing stuff about it, so it's clearly still relevant. But he
Yeah,
was
because the
outed.
guy, because
He keeps saying stuff.
yeah, he keeps saying stuff. He was saying stuff before, and then that's the
Mm-hmm.
reason why it kind of escalated. Because when I saw it at first, like I don't really pay that much mind based on who he was talking, because it just seemed like baseless tweets or rants, and people were
Yeah.
assuming that one of the person, because he mentioned multiple people, not
Because
just
I
the
did
lead.
see they were saying that when he initially started, people thought he was talking about Lil Nas X at one
No,
point.
because he said something else, because he said a gay rapper,
Yeah,
and
something
then he
about
said
a
an
gay rapper.
R&B singer.
Yeah.
So people assumed like it was Lil Nas X he was talking
Mm-hmm.
about, because they're
Yeah.
like, there's not that many who are like out and proud. But this is a thing, right? Um, and it doesn't really matter. Like, this is my takeaway from the situation. It doesn't really matter who is wrong or right, and if Khalid is actually blackmailing me, whatever. I don't really care for none of that. The thing that kind of shocked me the most is, and I've been seeing this a lot from Latino people and white people and other races, is like they use black people for whatever reason, like the sex or the big dick or all of that, whatever.
Yeah.
But the moment things fall out, they were like, "Oh, you were ugly" and all of that shit. So I'm like, but
That's so true. That
your
is so
tweet,
freaking
your
true.
tweet started with saying that I dated this R&B singer who is trying to blackmail me, whatever, but he was ugly anyway. But I'm like, but this is a person you were dating.
You
So
were
now
dating
it
him.
makes
So
it makes you
what was the
seem like
problem?
you're an opportunist, because
Yeah, exactly.
you weren't dating him because you liked him physically. So now putting the
You were
different
dating
parts
him from what
together
you can get out of
from what
it.
you can get from it, and then this long ass sorry story saying, "Hey, I wasn't trying to get anything from him," and blah blah blah. But then
But that's
it
how it
doesn't
comes
it doesn't it
off.
doesn't add up. And outing people,
Because
no,
also I heard something about like he's been trying to get his music career off the ground. So,
exactly too.
sir,
But this is
calm
also my
down.
problem with people like that, and I'm not saying it's right. Absolutely, it's not right. But I mean, if you're using someone for something, like, I mean, at least try and make something of it. But then you're gonna be bitter Betty when things don't go your way, and then you're gonna say the person ugly and the person is this and the person is that. And mind you, not Khalid is not my type, but
But
he's
he's
not
not
ugly.
ugly.
So
Exactly. He's
when I
not.
saw, and then outing people,
I don't see the point of that. I
no,
don't get why people do that. It's fucked up. Beyond fucked up.
I've never, and it's when the situation happened, I've never once thought about Khalid's sexuality. I've never thought about it. When the situation happened, because I saw it in real time as the tweets were coming out, because I was
I
on Twitter
remember
the
you
night.
said this.
And when I saw it, I was just like, I've never thought of his sexuality. But at the same time, I never really cared. But
Exactly.
the third thing is that I'm not shocked, because it's 2024. People are gay, especially in
Everybody's
Hollywood.
gay.
Like a lot of people are gay, and there's a
We're
lot
all
more.
gay.
But because of the whole stigma and situation like that, it's just like nobody cares. So I liked his tweet when he was like, "Okay, I'm gay. All right, what's next?" Because literally, what is next? What else
And
are we
he's
gonna get
so
out of
true.
this?
He was so right. The world continues to turn.
And people are gonna forget about
Okay.
this,
In
because
like a week.
most people were like, "Oh, we already knew," and blah blah blah, whatever, whatever, whatever. I'm like, whether y'all knew or not, it wasn't your business, and I don't
It
think he
really
was
was not.
hiding per se. And there's a lot of people like that,
He
because
just
I
didn't
think,
come out and say it.
and
And that's
sidetracking,
my other
we don't
thing.
have to come out either,
That's my I've been saying
because
this for a while now. What is the why is it so important for people to be like, "Oh, they came out." Okay, can't people just live their lives?
and
It's 2024, going into
I
2025.
I think like 8 years ago, like when being gay was getting like more socially like acceptable, people thought it was like the thing to come out and you have to make this whole huge
Yeah.
thing over it. But no, people just realize ain't nobody cares. So it's like there are people like me who throughout the period of this year is when I would say like I've been the more out I've ever been, like in terms of like social media, the people when I meet new people, stuff like that. Like if it comes up, I'm like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. But I don't really see the full need to go on social media and say, hey, I'm gay, everybody. Like it's not really that serious.
I don't see the point either.
There's
Just
no point
live
to it.
your life like everybody, cuz you don't The straights don't come out.
and
So what
say,
the
"Oh, I'm straight."
oh so why the hell do we have to do it? I don't get it. We just live your life. I don't. And every time you see like you always see it, oh, this football player came out as gay, that basketball player came out. I'm like, okay.
What now?
And
Azile Banks' voice, like,
are we
okay,
going to send a gift basket? Like what
it's.
what do we do now?
I mean, if it's someone who I probably never expected, right? All right, maybe the gossip will be fun for like maybe a day or two, but outside of that, like, it's not really that serious when people tell me that they're gay anymore. It's just like, okay,
It's
all right,
not. Yeah.
okay, whatever. I'm like, people, and as you can see, most people don't even make a big deal about it. People are like, okay, even straight people are like, okay, I thought he was gay. Well, I thought it
Because
was
the thing
obvious.
is,
Like,
he
it didn't
thought he
really,
was doing something, but sir, you really didn't.
And
Because
then
it's not
that's
that big a deal.
one of the saddest things having to ever experience is being outed. I've been outed before, um when I was younger, like in my teenage years, all of that, but it's disheartening if it's coming from another gay person. You
Yep.
know
What it's like.
the dynamics with friends and families and stuff, like, especially in the past. Right now it's still a little bit wonky and rough and shit
Shaky.
like that, but like there's more support now than back then, so it's just like
And
you
more
as a gay
resources too.
too, right? You as a gay person actively choosing to out another gay person, and it just shows that people are like really vindictive and like cruel, and they believe that whatever way they can choose to hurt you, they're going to. Why are you looking at me like that?
No, it's not looking at you. I'm waiting for you to finish so I can say what I have to say.
Oh, say it.
So when I was in high school, there were a few guys in around who, in order for them to, I guess, hide the fact that they were homosexuals, they somewhat made it their mission to just find out
Who
people's
is gay?
sexuality in the school and like out them and like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you okay? That's just weird. You need to probably be locked
It
away from
is,
society because that's
and
weird.
especially today, like
Oh,
today.
oh, oh, and wait. Right now, biggest homosexuals, flaming queens.
Because it's always like a
Everybody knows about
projection
them.
of it's always a projection of they seeing you living the life that they wish they can live and not fighting the demons. um and especially today in 2024, any man, woman, whatever, who is super homophobic for whatsoever reason, we gay people
Chances are
all
they're
over the
gay.
place. Yeah, gay people on TV shows all over. It's like it should be pretty normal right now. Why are you still so? I'm like,
So uptight and upset.
maybe there's
And
something
then
that you
at
don't
the,
know about yourself yet.
and then at the end of the day, like everybody is, we're all just trying to live our lives and make it one day at a time. Why do you think what I do in the bedroom is affecting you when I have no idea who you are or even think about you because I don't know you? The hell?
That's like what someone said the other day, that faggot is becoming so absolute. Is because it's like absolute, because like nobody, like, you call someone a faggot, they're like, okay,
Yeah.
what
And
what
what
do we do
next?
now? Like, what next? So it's just like that. But I don't know. Like, I hate the idea that people feel the need that they have to out people or tell people's story, and sometimes there's no story to tell. Because like when I moved here, I thought about, no, prior to moving here years ago, when everybody was coming out on social media and stuff like that, I thought like, hey, when I'm left Jamaica, I'm eventually gonna have my come out thing. I said like
I
that.
thought
But
about
when
that
I
as
but when
well.
I moved here, and it's just like I realized that I go to work and I can just talk about being gay and nobody give a fuck and
Yeah.
whatever. And then just like
And
I don't
then
even have to
it's
tell anybody. I just start posting what I want to post when I want to post. I'm just like, who gonna check me? Who
but you
gonna
see the
check me?
but you see the funny thing is, like growing up where we grew up in Jamaica and like living here or
hmm
whatever, I remember like the first time I actually said it in a public setting. It was like, okay, this feels weird. I've never said this out loud before in a public setting like this, but lovely. And I remember the first time I held a guy's hand in public walking a park. I'm like, oh, this is different. This is
Yo,
interesting.
I was scared as hell when I
You
just moved
were?
here. I just moved here like months in, like not even like a
Yeah.
year. And this guy tried to like kiss me outside and like hold my hand. I was like, even when I went out with my friends and like they got out of the club and they were acting all gay and queening out in
Yeah.
public, it was such a brand new concept to me.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm just like, oh hey girl,
And
like hi, how are you doing?
I think that is why you see a lot of gay men, and I can only speak from gay men from Jamaica because that's where I'm from. Whenever they go to different countries or whatever, they almost like there's a transformation, and you're like, well,
Hmm.
that's a bit much, but it's not. It's literally the fact that they are now willing, not willing, but able to just live freely as themselves. So they're going to do that. They're going to live out loud. And it's refreshing to see sometimes. But I will say, it does take a lot to unlearn the things we grew
Hmm.
up with. Because I am 33, just turned 33. And some things still somewhat are new to me.
Like
Certain
what?
experiences. No, just like being out with your partner, like kissing in public, holding hands, stuff like. And I know those things sound simple and trivial to some people, but there is still an air of, oh my god, is someone watching? Is someone going to say something? There's
A
still that
bit,
air,
a
and
bit,
it's still
a
it's
bit.
something that for us especially we have to somewhat unlearn those triggers and not having those reactions and just being like, this is just who I am and I'm just going to live my life.
It takes so much work.
It
And it's kind of
does.
funny, and I'm gonna share a story being that we're on this podcast too. Because
Yeah.
initially, when we started this podcast, right? Of course, I've been living in the US by this time now. Well, it wasn't 2 years yet, but still a year in and then some. But me having like open, like gay conversation like this, it was just so scary. And even like on the podcast, like to have or outwardly
For
say
me
things,
too.
I was so scared. I was like, damn, what are
Same.
people gonna think? What are people gonna say?
And
But
I
then
kept thinking, oh my God, is what if my family hears this? But now I'm just like, I don't care.
right, it's like the more I got into it and the more we did it, and I think that was also one of the goals initially when you pitched this to me, and I'm like, you're right, because I did promise myself that this year I'm gonna put myself out there more with certain things that I wouldn't have done in the past. And look at me
Mm-hmm.
now, like I just be talking about things like, hey girl, hey, and I'll
Pile
post this on my
driving men.
right, and like I just would not care. And that's the reason why I tell people, like, if you don't know me, like, and you want to like get to know things about me, or like the way I think, like listen to this, because I think I'm more authentic myself this, and I say a
I
lot about
think so
myself
too.
that
Mm-hmm.
more than the average, and it's because I'm talking to like it's a friend who I'm more like comfortable
But
with.
that's the same. It's the same for me. Like a lot of the stuff I say on here, I don't say those
Say
things
in real life.
in real life. You have to be very close to me to hear me say the things I say on this show. And that's the thing. And yes, this is going out to the world and anybody can listen to it. But I think it helps that I'm talking to somebody who I'm comfortable with. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why it's so
Mm-hmm.
easy to just have the
Mm-hmm.
conversation flow.
Which is a damn good thing.
It
It's
is.
We
But
have come a
can you
far
imagine?
way.
We said we're going to do at least a year. We're almost at a year, you
At a
realize.
year,
And we
right,
are
right.
4 episodes away from like 50 episodes. We need to start promoting this more. Guys who are listening to this, share the links. Tell people about us. Let them come over. Join us. We
Or if
have
you want
we have
gossip, if you want to gossip, because sometimes I do talk about things that we
yes.
doing, just send it to somebody and be like, oh yes, him same go fuck that person you're with.
We have Snickers and cookies. Join
but
us.
but on that note, though, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is catching
Uh-huh.
feelings for your friends.
Oh yes.
No, I
Okay.
don't think
Mm-hmm.
I have ever really catch feelings for someone who I genuinely say is my friend. And I use these
Yeah.
words like genuinely because, for example, I will never catch feelings for you. Like, we've been friends for so long.
I'm joking.
We've been friends for so long. It's like it's more
You
familial to
one
me.
second. You know what that just remind me of?
What?
Stacy on Potomac when the guy looked at her in the face on camera was like,
Oh,
I'm never going to have sex with you.
that was terrible. That was terrible.
Jesus. Anywho, continue.
But yeah, I've never. No, there's only one person though, and I hope this person is to listen to this. But the situation is kind of different, meaning that I became friends with this person the same amount of time that I've lived here. I've seen this person once or twice in real
Yeah.
life before I left Jamaica. We've never actually flirted like that before, but we've seen each other naked because there's this thing where I've opened myself to where like certain friends, certain heavy on the certain, like I will share certain explicit things with them, like how this looks, and they will send me
I'm not
certain
one of
things,
those friends.
and yeah, 'cause we don't have that relationship, so
That's true.
I've seen stuff, but I do realize that, in talking to this person and, this is someone who I'm actually attracted to. I've never actually said it to them, but, I'm actually attracted to them. I don't really have feelings to them, but I'm actually
But
like
attracted
attracted
to
to them.
them.
And I think, I'm like, yeah, I would do something, whatever. But at the same time, like, we've built our friendship now for so long.
Yeah.
But because we haven't really formally met and it's more online, I feel as if, like, if we ever get I don't know how
The
they
chance
feel,
to
but I
meet.
do kind of. But that's the most. Actual
Yeah.
friends, hell no.
Yeah,
Y'all are
because you
gross to me, nasty, dirty. We can
mm-mm.
never lay in the same bed, sort of
Oh
thing.
my
Like,
god.
and my friends are very attractive, but we just cannot fuck. I'm sorry, no.
Because you've heard the stories of people being like, "Oh, we've been friends for years, and we just didn't realize that the person I needed to be with was right next to me all this time, and blah 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 and whatever." And I guess it can happen for some,
No, ma'am, not for
but
me.
to be honest, all the people I call friends that I have in my life right now, we're friends. Because the thing is, for me, it's almost like my friends, because I'm an only child, so I think this is why it's probably the only child syndrome. So I kind of a few of my very close friends, I see them as like brothers or sisters. So it's just like it would just be so weird. Ew,
And
no.
that's the reason why. And I saw my TikTok kind of recommends to me that things to me that the way I think. And it recommended this video the other day, and she was saying that once it is that we're friends, ain't nothing happening like you and I don't get it. And it's heavy, we've talked about this before, but heavily in the gay community, like people are just so hypersexual, and there's nothing wrong with that, but when it comes to their friends, they don't have no boundaries, right? And
Yeah,
people just want to fuck, and they see you as friends, but they still see you as something or someone who they can call and be wanting to do things with. And I'm like, no,
it's
friends you
almost
friends are relationships that are like family. I don't get it.
it's almost like you see these big friend groups in the gay community, and
And
let's
they
say
all
it's
fucking
like
each other.
six of them, they've all had sex with each other. And it's so weird. And
It's
don't get me wrong, I do have friends that I have done things with or had sex with or whatever. But
but it's
at the time when that
different.
happened,
We
we
weren't
weren't
friends.
friends. We were literally trying to build something, but then we realized at some point, oh,
Oh, friends,
let's just be
whatever.
friends. So we are friends now. And now when I look at them, I'm like, yeah,
No.
let's just no.
No, right?
But I will say, I'm not going to say never. I'm not going to say there's never going to be that friend that I might see one day and like a light bulb goes off. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're hot.
But I'm
Let's see
thinking
where this
of
goes. Let's. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not saying it will never happen. Who
but this is
knows?
this is a thing too. I'm getting older. I'm very, very, very intentional about
Yeah,
crossing certain boundaries, certain friends crossing certain boundaries. Because I'm like, yo, the world is a shitty place. Friends are hard as hell to find
very
now.
hard to find.
I'm not trying to fuck up any of my friendships or the relationships that I have. And a lot of the friends that I have, we've been friends for upwards of 8, 9, 10 years. Like the years
Yeah.
are counting, and I like that because I want to be able to say, because you and I have been friends for over, it's about to be 10 years.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm like, I want when I'm older to be like, hey, me and this person has been friends for 20, 30, 40 years, because I love
Oh my
friendships and
God,
they're
we've been friends
beautiful
for that
things.
long?
Yes, so since I remember I lived in Meadowbrook, and I lived in
When I
Meadowbrook
lived on
circa
Whitcomb Avenue.
2014, 2015.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh, look at
sir.
that. It's been so long.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I'm
Long
looking
time I
at
know
it
you in a
and
bitch. Jesus.
Symmetry, right? And I'm like, when I'm older, I want to say, hey, we've been friends for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, and friendships are a beautiful thing for me. So I put mental blocks up. I'm not trying to catch feelings for any of my friends. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that it doesn't happen, but like that will literally ruin your friendship
You
or like
don't
your
see it
relationships.
happening
You
right
don't,
now
me
with any
not, I'm
of the
not,
friends that you have
mm-mm,
around you.
mm-mm,
Yeah, I
mm-mm.
get that.
Hell no. But anyways, the last thing,
I was just looking at what the last thing was. Okay. Oh,
the
this is
series
about the
movies,
movies and animes that like they're going to
series
announce.
production time.
Yeah, or the ones like animes have been doing this a lot lately, where they put out something, but it's the announcement for the announcement of the new season. Like, why are you putting out an announcement to announce the new season? That makes no sense.
I
Just announce it.
blame I blame Netflix for the series
Netflix.
aspect. I blame Netflix for the series aspect, because prior to Netflix doing their own original series and shit like that, we were so spoiled. Every September into October, you're looking forward to a brand new set of 24
Mm-hmm.
season,
24
22
episodes.
episodes running for the next year on a weekly basis. Only take a break if it lands on a major holiday or something major is going on, and then by the time that's like 24 weeks, and then by the time you get a 3, 4, 5 month break, welcome back. Teen Wolf
It's
coming back
coming back.
again, for example. And it's like the acting wasn't mediocre, the CGI even itself wasn't mediocre too. And these shows were running, and not just the CW, but multiple other networks had shows running. Netflix came with this 8 episode concept, which honestly, it's not bad because it's like an hour long for each. But at the same time, if you give me something in 2015, when I'm, for example, 15 years old, I love that series, and then you wait until I'm 19, 20 to come back with another 8 episodes. One, I'm a different person. Two, I might just not be into things like this anymore. And then the wait, I forgot about the entire plot and interest and all of that.
You know what? Who just did that shit? Invincible on Amazon. Didn't they do like a two episode season? And now we're like, when is this coming back? That's it. It's done. The hell?
And then that's the thing that happened when they do that long break. Things started happening. The actors probably
They
blow
grow
up,
up.
they grow up, they blew up, and they're just like, okay, that is beneath me. And you can't blame them, because if this show propelled me to stardom, where I can find myself with my name not being directly attached to that means a one-hit wonder for my career, and I start getting more brand deals, movies and shit like that, I'm gonna be like, okay, why would I go back to that? And that is happening a lot. For example, Euphoria, right? Most
Haven't
of
they?
those,
They've all grown up.
they've all grown up, and most of them have like huge careers outside of Euphoria, and people died, and it's just like,
Yeah,
why are we
even
still,
even Stranger Things.
yeah, why are we taking like forever?
Why are we taking forever to have these series? And I get it, like you want to make money, you want to stretch it out long, but my God,
And then this is the thing that bothers me too. When it comes around again, it's not even good. For example, House of the Dragon, that first season came out when I was
still have not watched that.
in university or whatever, right? Watched it, loved it. The new season only came out this year, and then most of it was like a waste of time, because it was talking, 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 and nothing barely happened. And I'm like, y'all took. And what I learned about movie production
Yeah,
since once I learned what I learned about movie production lately is that I used to think that series and stuff take years to film. No,
They
two,
don't. They can
two,
do it
three
in like
months,
two, three
two, three
months.
months. Filming is
Sometimes even
done.
like if it's Tyler Perry, a week.
A week. So I'm like, what are we
Not that he's the
doing?
only one doing that, but I mean, it can be done
And I'm like, what are we doing? And I'm not saying to.
because I worked in television production. You know this. I worked on a competition show and that shit was filmed like an entire season. And I think we did 12 episodes because we had a bunch of designers. But the whole season was literally filmed in 2 weeks and that was 12 episodes. So I know it can be done because I worked in the field on two different TV company, two channels. So it can be done, and I get it. As somebody who worked in the field, I know like a lot of stuff goes on in the background where budgets and like rewrites and stuff and all that is concerned. But if you lock in the schedule for when you're going to film this, it can be done.
And
And
they're acting.
we filmed in summer, I think in August or July, end of July going into August, and the season started in November. So it can be done.
And they be acting like the thing that bothers me the most, because I know capitalism plays like a huge role in it, whatever. But then they make it seem as if they don't have no money and there's no demand. And when people been begging for it, and then it's like, oh, in 2020, a new Avatar animated, and this is actually a true story. A new Avatar animated with Aang and this person, blah blah blah, is in
Yeah,
the
where
works. But
they're
but
grown up.
but they're telling me this in 2020. The light just came on like, ooh.
What the hell? What is that
That
turn
light
on?
just. But they're going to tell you in 2020, for example, that a new Avatar is in the works and it's
Yes, we
looking
have
to
been
come
seeing
out,
that from
and it's
2020.
looking to come out in 2027. No, let's really be for real.
Who's gonna
Seven
say by
years,
2027? We've forgotten about that.
7 years, 6 years, and I'm like, I wish they would stop doing this, produce what they're producing, and just say, hey, 6 months later, this thing is coming out. Especially
Yeah.
for series or shows like that where people are begging for you to, the
Because
hype
people
is
have been saying
there.
it ever since it ended. We want to see what happened after that. Like, because all of a sudden they just jumped to Korra and was like, so what happened in between Korra and Aang? Like, what was in between those years? So that's what but they said it's coming out. I think it's next year. They said it's supposed to come out, but we'll see. But I don't remember which anime I had sent you that triggered this topic where they literally
The
put out an announcement.
Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer, they put on an announcement that they're going to announce the next arc for next year. I'm like, why
And
do that? Just
mind you
release
not,
the thing.
I don't stress about it because I've read the manga. I know how it ends, but it's still
Same,
nice. It's still
but it's
nice
just
to
to
see
see
the
it.
beautiful animation and all of that. And
Because
it
don't get me
bothers
wrong,
me.
Demon Slayer has one of the best animation when it
Mhm.
comes to anime. To me, like the graphics, it's amazing to see them. Like the budget on that is up there.
It bothers me a lot because anime, I'm not one of these, and I'm not shitting on you guys because a lot of people start, getting heavily like into the anime after like
Recently.
recently after the pandemic, right?
Meanwhile, we've
And
been doing this all our lives.
prior to that, popular animes, you didn't have to wait 4 3 5 years. You didn't, like, they would
And
just
not
make it
only
and it would
that,
be done, and all of these
not
making
only
movies,
episode after episode.
yeah, and not
You
making,
have
oh,
300 episodes, 400 episodes. No, Bleach, we've been. Sorry, I'm cutting you out. But Bleach, we've been waiting from 2011 for them to finish Bleach, and they finally brought it back. And every single year since it's been back, what it started like last year or the year before, they're giving us like 4 or 5 episodes, and then we have to wait another year. Just finish the freaking thing. We know how it ended. We know how it ends. Like, just give the episodes to us. And I know you have done them because there's no reason. You literally have 366 episodes of the original Bleach anime, and now all of a sudden you're telling us you can only do 8 in a year. That makes no sense.
it is so like It is, it's and this Demon Slayer with this. Oh, let's adapt it into a movie first and send it to
Nobody wants
theaters,
that.
and then
Nobody's asking for
you
that.
gotta watch it at the theaters, and then it takes forever to come out and stream it before we start show. Ain't nobody got time for that. Just release the thing. Like it's really not that serious, and
Just release the
that's what
episodes,
I
and when
hated,
it
the
ends, it
fact that
ends.
exactly. Like I hate the fact that anime became popular because it's like they're just making it like a main event. Like okay, like
And you know why they can do that? Because they know we're going to watch it.
because we don't have no choice, we have
We
to
have
watch it
no
whenever they
choice. We just
produce
have
it
to
either
wait.
way.
And that's why they keep doing it. Because at any whatever, we're going to complain as much as we want, but at the end of the day, we're still watching it.
Ciao. Anyways,
Yeah.
hopefully I'm alive for when they do all of these
Eventually
things
do the
because
demon Ang.
not even just Ang, it's just a lot of things, like a lot of animes and things, and that's one of the reasons why I read the manga because let me at least know how it ends. Because honestly, sometimes you guys production is just taking like forever these days, and ain't nobody got time for all of that extended period of
That
three,
is
four,
so
five, 6 years
true.
of waiting.
But
But
with that said, I know you were about to say it. With that said, we've come to the end of another riveting episode of Shiggles. I've been that guy Rickster,
and this was Darren.
and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.